Ever wonder what separates a $10 million athlete's house from a $100 million one? The answer? About 20 extra bathrooms, a helicopter pad, and sometimes an entire lake. I'm serious. These aren't just houses, they're private resorts. One athlete on this list spent $54 million on his estate, and it might actually be one of the more reasonable purchases you'll see today. Crazy, right? Let's get into things. But before we get started, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't, and if you have any thoughts about the video, leave them in the comments down below. 10. Messis Miami Starter Mansion, the entry-level luxury, $10.75 million. When it comes to athletes' starter homes, Lionel Messi's Miami Mansion sets the bar pretty low on our list at just $10.75 million. I know, most of us would need to win multiple lotteries to afford something like this, but for Messi, it's basically just a convenient crash pad after joining Inter Miami. The place is ridiculous though. We're talking about a full-acre property with a 10,500 square foot house that has 8 bedrooms and 10 bathrooms. Now you might ask, who needs 10 bathrooms? Athletes apparently. And don't forget the 1,000 bottle wine cellar, because what's the point of being rich if you can't store enough wine to survive the apocalypse? What really makes this place special isn't just the size, it's the waterfront location with 170 feet of water frontage and a private dock. Messi can literally park his boats right outside his house. That's not a luxury, that's just Tuesday for him. But here's the craziest part. This mansion is actually one of Messi's more modest homes. The soccer goat has properties all over the world that make this one look like a garden shed. This Miami pad is just his American foothold, like when normal people buy a keychain as a souvenir. 9. Ronaldo's Portuguese Palace, the European upgrade, $20+ million. If Messi's Miami place is just a warm-up, Cristiano Ronaldo's $20 million Portuguese compound is playing the game on legendary mode. The soccer superstar didn't settle for a simple mansion. He literally claimed an entire hillside in Madeira and transformed it into his personal kingdom with jaw-dropping views of the Atlantic Ocean. This isn't just a house, it's a vertical city spanning 7 floors connected by an actual elevator system. The place is so massive, it has 2 Olympic-sized swimming pools because apparently one wasn't enough for CR7. And of course, there's a full-size soccer field. How else would he practice those free kicks at 3 a.m. when inspiration hits? The garage alone is worth drooling over, housing 20 of Ronaldo's supercars, valued at around $30 million. We're talking Bugattis, Ferraris, and custom Rolls-Royces that most of us will only ever see in video games. His master bedroom is literally bigger than the average American home, and he's got an entire museum room dedicated to his CR7 brand, trophies, and memorabilia. The man literally sleeps in a shrine to himself. 8. Hamilton's Manhattan Penthouse, the Urban Racers Retreat, $40 million. While Ronaldo might worship himself at his hillside palace, Lewis Hamilton took his riches to a whole new elevation, literally. The F1 champ dropped $40 million on a Manhattan XXX penthouse that sits so high up, it's practically in another atmosphere. This isn't just any building either. It was designed by legendary architect Zaha Hadid, whose other projects include museums and opera houses around the world. Hamilton's Sky Palace spans 3 entire floors, from the 59th to the 61st, in one of New York's most exclusive buildings. This 8,900 square foot cloud kingdom comes with its own private elevator, because walking is for regular people, right? A massive 3,000 square foot outdoor terrace and floor-to-ceiling windows that give him panoramic views of the entire city. That's right, he can literally look down on everyone else. But the building amenities are just as crazy as his actual apartment. There's a full IMAX theater in the building, a 74-foot skylit swimming pool, and a luxury spa. Most people would pay millions just for access to that stuff. But for Hamilton, it's just included in the HOA fees. He bought this $40 million palace mostly as an investment property, since he's constantly traveling for races and already owns homes in Monaco, London, and Colorado. Imagine being so rich that a $40 million penthouse is just another asset in your portfolio. 7. Beckham's London Legacy, the historic royal connection, $42 million. Speaking of multi-million-dollar investments, David Beckham took the royal route by dropping $42 million on a London townhouse that actual kings and queens once called home. While other athletes build flashy modern compounds, Beckham went for historical prestige with a Victorian-era Holland Park mansion that perfectly matches his iconic status in British culture. This isn't just some random old building. It's a 9,000 square foot piece of British history that Victoria Beckham personally renovated to the tune of $7 million. She transformed this royal residence into the ultimate luxury pad, with 7 bedrooms, a custom gym that would make fitness influencers jealous, a wine cellar that rivals high-end restaurants, and an underground home theater that's better than most multiplexes. What makes this palace truly special isn't just the ridiculous amenities. It's the exclusive neighborhood where houses practically never go on sale. The Beckhams rub elbows with neighbors like Elton John and Robbie Williams in this ultra-private enclave where paparazzi fear to tread. But here's the wildest part. This $42 million royal townhouse is just one piece of the Beckham real estate empire. They've spent another $47 million on properties including a $24 million Miami penthouse and their $7.5 million countryside retreat they literally nicknamed Beckham Palace. Because when you're worth nearly $500 million, one palace just isn't enough. 6. Tiger's Florida Island, the golfer's paradise, $54 million. While the Beckhams have their royal-adjacent estate, Tiger Woods went full God mode by literally creating his own private island worth $54 million in Jupiter, Florida. This isn't just some fancy house with a nice view. Tiger completely redesigned nature itself to perfect his golf game. This 12-acre oceanfront compound is basically a professional golfer's laboratory. The man has 4 championship-level golf holes in his backyard, with custom tee positions that can simulate literally any shot he might face in competition. It's like having your personal Augusta National where normal people have swimming pools. The main house spans 9,000 square feet, but that wasn't enough, so Tiger added a separate 5,700 square foot building just for his gym, media room, and bar. There's also an oxygen therapy room because when you're Tiger Woods, breathing regular air is for peasants, plus a 100-foot diving pool to stay in shape. What's really wild is Tiger demolished a perfectly good mansion after dropping $40 million on the property, then spent another $14 million rebuilding it exactly how he wanted. And don't forget the private pier for his 155-foot yacht named Privacy that cost another $20 million. Because driving to your boat is so inconvenient when your boat can just drive to you. 5. Jordan's Chicago Kingdom, the GOAT's Compound, $60 million. Speaking of athletes with customization issues, Michael Jordan might have taken the personalization game a bit too far with his Chicago estate that literally nobody wants to buy. When your house's street number is 23 and your front gate has a gigantic Jordan logo that satellites can spot, you're basically screaming, "Michael Jordan lived here" to every visitor and burglar within a 50-mile radius. This isn't just a home, it's a 56,000 square foot monument to Jordan's ego sitting on 7 acres in Highland Park. The place is absolutely ridiculous with 9 bedrooms, 19 bathrooms, because apparently MJ needs options, and a full-size basketball court that has Jordan emblazed right on center court. Like we might forget whose house we're in. The amenities are basically what you'd expect from someone who dominated the 90s. There's a putting green for practicing those golf skills, a high-end cigar room where he probably closed million-dollar deals, and even a poker room where MJ could indulge his famous gambling habit. The pool pavilion is shaped like an actual island map because regular rectangular pools are for non-goats. Here's the crazy part though. Jordan listed this place back in 2012 for $29 million, and after a decade of zero buyers, he's slashed the price to under $15 million. But the house sits empty while he shells out $700,000 annually just in property taxes. That's like buying a new luxury condo every year just to maintain a home nobody wants. 4. Lebrons' Beverly Hills Empire, the Hollywood Upgrade, $70 million. From Michael Jordan's unsellable Chicago monstrosity to LeBron James's Hollywood Heights, that's the difference between old school and new school NBA royalty. While Jordan sits on his empty mansion, King James dropped $70 million on a Beverly Hills compound that's literally dripping with Hollywood history. This isn't just any rich guy mansion. It's the former playground of legends like Howard Hughes and Katharine Hepburn. LeBron didn't just buy expensive walls and fancy floors. He purchased an actual piece of American entertainment history. The Mediterranean estate stretches across 2.5 acres at the literal highest point in Beverly Hills, giving him a panoramic view from downtown LA all the way to the Pacific Ocean. The property has its own screening room where actual Hollywood classics had their first premieres before hitting theaters. The compound is basically a small village with multiple structures totaling 13,000 square feet of living space. It's got 7 fireplaces for those chilly 60-degree LA winter nights, a professionally lit tennis court, and a separate poolside house with 2 bathrooms because walking to the main house when you're wet is apparently too much work for a billionaire. 3. Brady and Bunchan's private island, the power couple's fortress, $75 million. While LeBron's mansion might seem impressive, Tom Brady and Giselle took exclusivity to an entirely different level with their $75 million property on Indian Creek Island, Miami's notorious billionaire bunker. This isn't just some gated community. It's a private island where even the air feels expensive. What makes this place truly insane isn't just the price tag, but the neighbors, literally billionaires and political royalty like Ivanka Trump and Jared Kushner. This island has only 34 properties total, and you can't just drive there. There's a single bridge with armed guards checking everyone 24/7. It's basically a fortress for the ultra-wealthy. Brady and Giselle didn't just buy a mansion though. They completely demolished the existing 5,700 square foot house to build their dream eco-mansion. Their custom-designed home is being built with a zero-carbon footprint, powered completely by solar panels and sustainable materials. Because when you're worth $650 million, you can afford to be environmentally conscious. Indian Creek Island is basically its own tiny country with its own mayor and private police force. The entire middle of the island is just a massive 18-hole golf course with all the mansions built around the perimeter for maximum privacy and ocean views. 2. Mayweather's Vegas Casino, the $100 million desert showplace. If you thought a private island was exclusive, Floyd Money Mayweather took luxury to a ridiculous new level with his $100 million Vegas mansion. This isn't just any rich person's house. It's literally called Big Boy Mansion because subtlety isn't in Floyd's vocabulary. The 22,000 square foot main residence sits on 5 acres just minutes from the Las Vegas Strip, basically giving Floyd his own personal resort without having to deal with other tourists. His underground garage holds 20 luxury vehicles, but that's just the beginning of the insanity. Inside, Floyd built amenities that make Vegas casinos jealous. He's got a 600-bottle wine wall right next to a literal candy shop where he keeps mountains of sweets. There's a movie theater with 50 seats, multiple swimming pools including an indoor one with its own mini water park, and 2 separate guest houses when the main mansion gets boring. The most over-the-top features are the dedicated rooms for his collections. One entire room houses nothing but shoes, with custom rotating shelves to display them all. Another room is just for his multi-million-dollar watch collection. His master bedroom is larger than most people's entire houses. The craziest flex? Floyd regularly posts Instagram videos casually showing off literally stacks of cash arranged on his living room tables. He even built a jewelry vault that houses more diamonds than most celebrity net worths. When your nickname is money, you gotta live up to it. 1. Tysons Connecticut Kingdom, the $300 million boxing emperor's fall. Speaking of money, what happens when you earn $300 million but lose it all? Mike Tyson's Connecticut mansion wasn't just massive with its 21 bedrooms and personal nightclub. It represents one of the greatest cautionary tales in sports history. At his peak, Iron Mike splurged on a 52-room monstrosity that literally held the record as Connecticut's largest private home. This wasn't just any mansion, it was a temple to excess. Tyson installed gold-plated bathroom fixtures throughout the property and even created a dedicated habitat for his infamous pet tigers, complete with reinforced enclosures and custom feeding stations. The infamous Honey Room nightclub inside the mansion featured a full-size dance floor, professional DJ booth, and VIP areas that hosted some of the wildest parties of the 90s. The insanity didn't stop there. Tyson had a waterfall grotto pool with underwater tunnels and cave systems, plus a professional recording studio where hip-hop legends laid down tracks. His car collection included a custom Lamborghini with Iron Mike embroidered headrests and rare Bentleys that couldn't even fit in normal garages. But the boxing legend's spending habits eventually caught up with him. After burning through a $400 million fortune, Tyson declared bankruptcy in 2003 and was forced to sell his palace to rapper 50 Cent for just $4 million, less than 2% of its peak value. 50 Cent eventually dumped it for an even bigger loss at $2.9 million. So when we look at these ridiculous athlete mansions, we're basically seeing bank accounts turned into buildings. Every million unlocks another crazy feature, from basic waterfront property to literal private islands with security teams. What's wild is how the progression works. Athletes start with their first big contract and buy what normal people would call a mega mansion. Then they level up to custom sports facilities built specifically for them. Eventually, they graduate to properties with historical significance or exclusive zip codes where their neighbors are billionaires and royalty. The saddest part, some athletes like Tyson go full circle, from unimaginable luxury back to nothing when the money dries up. But the spending doesn't stop. These mansions aren't about needing space. They're status symbols, and that's the thing about status. There's always someone with more, which is why these athletes keep upgrading until sometimes they lose it all. The real question isn't why so big, but will anything ever feel like enough?